And we are live here with the AFC East by NAFCo. It is January 30th, 2023, and we are just getting through the AFC and NFC championship games today. With me is Liz Mueller, Jets 2021 Jets Fan of the Year. Hi, Liz.
Hey guys.
Hi. Yeah, Paul, how you doing there? Our Bills resident. Yeah, hang time, catching hang time. That's about what you're doing right now with the Bills out of the. That's kind of what the whole AFC East is doing. We were talking about that before the show. We're all out of it right now, but we only got these couple weeks to go here, and so let's get to it though. The conference championships were yesterday. And so now we've determined our Super Bowl our Super Bowl teams. Let's talk about first the AFC Championship game, which this was the closer of the two games that was played out yesterday. Mahomes looking like kind of some crap there actually at the end of towards the end of the game. I mean, he kept hobbling worse and worse as this game went on. A lot of people are crediting referee this 3rd and 9 play where they basically gave a do-over to Kansas City. A lot of people are saying the ref was the most valuable player in this game.
Yeah, it appears that way.
It appears that way. So their claim
when the refs, steer the ship for which way the game is going. That was completely ridiculous the way that all panned out, and it's a shame. Let the players play and don't make stupid mistakes. They get paid a lot of money to do their job, and they dropped the ball on that, to say the least.
Well, generally the refs give you a lot of leeway during the playoffs. They do. They let the players play, but not this play. So
no.
Well, they let them play it twice. You could make the case that they gave them double the play out of this.
Yeah, that's true.
So the thing is, though, I was reading about it. The defense from the ref is that they called the play off actually right before the snap happened, and basically a ref's officiating timeout was called. The thing is they were saying the Arrowhead Stadium was just so loud. It's the loudest stadium in the league, and you could really feel it yesterday. I will say that it was very energetic, especially with it being a close game in the loudest stadium in the league. However, the ref wasn't able to stop the play because nobody could hear him. That's his claim. The claim is that they stopped the play beforehand, then they ran the play through because nobody could hear the ref stopping the play. But then it was like even the teams, they switched out the punt teams came out, and then they sent back the punt teams and then ran a 3rd and 9 play. And it was very confusing for the audience as well. But that did definitely, that 3-point ending score here, that was a big factor. That was late in the fourth quarter. It was like 3.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That enabled Kansas City to get that field goal, break this tie. So it ended up, it really is one of those cases where, as far as all the fans can see, it felt like the ref just gave them a free do-over that ended up giving this to Kansas City. But however, I mean, I do hear the NFL side of this that it was just so damn loud at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, you're right, and you got to feel bad for Cincinnati. They've never been, never got that trophy, and it just a really crappy way the way it ended.
Well,
Yeah,
you look at Mahomes. You hear about a 3-legged dog. Mahomes was a 3-legged dog the whole game, and he did bad. And I'm just really for him to pull off what he did, though, you have to give him some props for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. And I was saying that it was kind of weird, though. He was still kind of mobile during at least the first 3 quarters, I'd say. Well, the first half. He was kind of mobile, and he had sort of a mobility that I thought, it made me remind me of Steve McNair's style of rolling out, but then not his Mahomes style of rolling out and gunning forward. It was just a rollout just to extend the play. I mean, this is kind of your mobile quarterback. It just gave me vibes of Steve McNair there, late in McNair's career. But that's not the Mahomes way. Mahomes is much faster than that and much actually even more agile. So it was and there was, I will say too, there was this hook and ladder play that was just like a freaking weird backyard schoolhouse kind of play, or like what they always accuse the Chiefs of doing. They threw the ball to Travis Kelce, and then Travis Kelce attempted a hook and ladder over to a wide receiver in the area, and it was already a 20-yard gain, and then he turns it around and laterals it. It missed. Luckily, it was recovered by Kansas City. At least luckily for Kansas City. But man, who's writing this play like this is what I thought. I mean, is this could plays are. Do we really think they're actually writing plays where it's 20-yard gain, hook and ladders? And I think the answer is yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Andy Reid. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that hurricane thing? They run around the middle in the huddle, then they run and join the line. That's awesome.
Right.
I love that stuff. Shit. Crap. All right.
Andy Reid, yeah. I mean that's where you get into some amount of there's almost a mystique lately about the Chiefs' offensive schemes. Really, it's very irregular, and we've known that for some time. But to do this, the stuff we were seeing in the playoffs there in the first half was pretty crazy there. And another thing too, well, let me take a look here. Mahomes' leg injuries, progressively worse, less mobile into the fourth quarter, and he really in the fourth quarter he became a pure pocket passer by then. It was no longer what I said Steve McNair level of mobility. It became Tom Brady level of mobility by the fourth quarter.
Well,
so
the drugs wore off. The drugs wore off.
Yeah.
What they pumped him with in the beginning of the game wore off, and therefore that's it.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of messed up, but at the same time, yeah, that's kind of how that goes, right? I see what you're saying by that. I can't remember the drug.
What was the deal at the end of the game? That last crazy play, and they kept showing at the end when the game was over that number 58, and he was sitting on the sidelines and he was bawling. He just was, and he blamed that last play on him. The two of them were out of bounds, and he took out a cameraman or somebody on the sideline. And it's like he took the responsibility of them losing that entire game.
Well, and that was Osai, right? When Osai shoved, I think it was Mahomes out of bounds, and it was a late hit, and it was a huge cost to Cincinnati, and that's one of the things that I had taken a note on. And the thing was, I saw that was kind of like a crap job. Sometimes I think, as somebody that does media, filmmaking, and photography and live streaming, as we have here, the job of sideline photographer for pretty much every sport always looks awesome because you're there right on every game. You're right there, on the sideline. But then, it also looks kind of shitty because it looks like you just kind of also get sort of mauled several times a year at least, and that's just part of the gig there. And it's not just like when you're doing it. These are very large men falling into average people that are just nerds, camera nerds. And
but also, the cameraman is like, okay, who can I find that's at the lowest low in their life? And they're just miserable and crying their eyes out. And let's focus on him for the next 10 minutes. And it's like, you almost think they're evil people for doing that. Let's just see who's having the worst day in this stadium of 80,000 people. And
that's the television producers for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look at all the camera views, and they have 80 camera views, and then they are scanning for what's the most entertaining thing here. Yeah. No, right. Crying people is entertaining. It's ratings, right?
Yeah. When they show the fans that are just not wanting to be there anymore, wish they stayed home, didn't spend all that money. They're just having a shitty game and they're just not happy, and let's show them a bunch of times.
Well, that play we're talking about turned a 60-yard field goal into a 49-yard field goal. So, yeah. I mean, that was the game. So
Yeah.
and you hold Mahomes to 20 points. Oh my God, you're doing fantastic
Right.
on one leg.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the game of the recap. So
Uh-huh.
all
It
right.
is what it is. Football.
Yeah, Burrow. I felt like Burrow looked like he showed up to play. I mean, it felt like Cincinnati was there to play. They definitely did not go laying down. Like I said, this was a close game, so I give credit to Cincinnati and expect Cincinnati to be around long term. As we were seeing last year, they were there. This year, last year they were in the Super Bowl. This year, they're in the AFC Championship game. They look like, with Joe Burrow being so young in his career, I do look at both of these teams, Kansas City and Cincinnati, to be having this matchup for years to come. Quite frankly, kind of almost, and I think it was maybe Skip Bailiff or Colin Cowherd saying, either one of those two, saying that expect to see this Burrow and Mahomes to be this matchup for a while. And also, he was saying it's kind of like the AFC's new Brady and Manning matchup is what he was, bestowing the title of that over to this. And I can see what he's saying there, which is definitely not going to be the case. And if we want to go over to the NFC matchup, that is not going to be the case in the NFC with Philadelphia, who did win this NFC Championship game. Now, they won it, but there is this but. When I talk about longevity of the roster, much of the talent in Philadelphia, their contracts expire at the end of this year, so they're built to win now. And this was, I watched this game in its entirety, and my goodness, Philadelphia is a very, very good team right now, and I have no reason to believe that anybody out of between I guess now Philadelphia and Kansas City, I have no reason to believe that Philadelphia is going to perform poorly in the Super Bowl. As far as, I have no reason to believe that they'll actually lose. They seem like, I have not really witnessed a full game because we're in the AFC show. I primarily focus on the AFC and the AFC East. Today with the championship game, I got to really see the Eagles in action, and my goodness, do they have a quarterback sneak that is like basically unstoppable for like 3 yards at a time. You can know it's coming. You see them line up, you know it's coming, you can't stop it. It is that good.
Well,
go ahead,
San
Paul,
Francisco. I'm sorry. San Francisco, Purdy. Is that his name, Purdy?
Yep.
Their first-string quarterback. I mean, they went through two quarterbacks in that game, and Purdy tore his ACL. So,
Yep.
I mean, and you got Garoppolo still. Well, Garoppolo's not coming back, and he's going somewhere else.
It wasn't his ACL.
Yeah.
It was his elbow. It was his.
Was it?
His ACL.
ACL. I'm sorry. It's my letters.
Elbow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So for a quarterback to blow that out, the arterial cruciate ligament, that's bad, and awful. That's awful. But let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Growing up 2 hours from Philadelphia, okay, the only reason those idiots won is because the 49ers fans had to go and throw the 49ers jersey on the Rocky statue. That's it. I figured it out.
What's the Rocky statue? Oh, Rocky. Oh, Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky. Yep.
Yeah, Balboa.
Jersey on, and that sealed their fate. That made their quarterback hurt himself in the beginning of the game. And I hate the Eagles so much I can't even explain it.
I've noticed that you talked 2 episodes ago. You said that the fan base there is kind of nasty.
Oh, worst fans ever.
The worst fans.
Yeah.
Worst fans ever. You go to a Penguins game, you go to a Philly game, you go to an Eagles game. They are horrifying. They burn the city down if they win. They burn the city down if they lose. They are just the low life. They are horrible, and they want to talk about the Mets and the Yankees fans. No comparison. They want to talk about the Jets and Giants fans. Absolutely no comparison. They're horrible.
The best player in Philadelphia that's notable is Mark Wahlberg. That's what I'd say.
I thought that he was out of Boston.
No, it's
I don't know.
Usually he
only
tours
person-
around the Boston parades and stuff with Marky Mark. He was, Mark Wahlberg's a Boston guy, man.
But no,
Take it from the guy from there.
he had the movie. I forgot what it's called, but
Oh, maybe
yeah, he played that.
The only
like
person
a Philadelphia Philly.
in this whole scenario is Mrs. Kelsey, because both her boys are playing each other in the Super Bowl, which is pretty cool. And I did meet Jason out at the Super Bowl, and he was a really nice guy. And now Travis is in it too, and that'll be fun for them. But I hope Kansas City beats the ever living daylights out of them. I really do.
Can I ask you guys something? Who's doing the halftime show?
Rihanna.
Who else?
Rihanna's. That's all. That's the headliner, and then I guess anything else is just going to show up as that special guest that shows up. Stay tuned kind of stuff.
Stapleton is singing the national anthem, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he may do something halftime too. Cool. It'd be nice to throw a little country in there.
Now, are we going to watch the whole game? Really? just saying.
I am. I watch as much as I can of the playoffs here.
You were there last year with me, so I just
Yeah.
You know how that went.
I did.
Yeah. Well, we know where I was watching it last year at the game, and
shut up.
I just want to shout out. Woohoo! I just want to shout out to the 2022 fans of the year who made it this week on the cover of Sports Illustrated and in the magazine.
Ooh, nice.
That's pretty cool. And some of them got flown out to LA to do a little Super Bowl preview commercial or something. It's all top secret, but yeah, we heard it through the grapevine that that's going to happen too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. Now
joined the fan of the year family.
Yeah, so you were talking about the injury, though, to Purdy here. I want to go back to the injury to Purdy. I was dealing with the social medias when you were talking about that. No, that's okay. I just want to bring this back there and say that the Purdy injured in the second quarter by the and so that made it so they were running a fourth-string quarterback with Johnson in the second and throughout the second quarter. Third quarter, they bring Purdy back, but by the beginning of the fourth quarter, it was clear that Niners were just spamming run. They were just using McCaffrey and just handing it off to McCaffrey every play, and it shows you though the skill set of McCaffrey though, and why he is such a dominant running back. When you know it, that's another case if you know it's coming, and they could stop him because he wasn't going to be able to getting tons of first downs, but he was sometimes actually converting into a first down. They might get 6 plays out of a drive is what I'm saying when they just spammed handing it off to McCaffrey, which I guess they figure was a better result than anything they could do with Purdy out there with no arm. But I don't know why they kept putting him in there when there seemed like there was no good reason to not put Johnson out there, because at least Johnson could attempt to throw the ball at all, whereas that was not the case with Purdy, just handing it off. It seems to me that their coaching staff basically decided that it was the best chance to win was actually just handing it off to McCaffrey. That's not good. That's a high school style, like 1920s high school style offense right there. When you're just going to spam run, it does not work. That clearly does not work in the modern NFL. Now now I'll also go over to the fourth quarter. That was quite the little skirmish that happened in the fourth quarter. There, 2 players. There was Wallace and Williams were both disqualified, one from each side. After one of them, it was like a big lineman threw one of these guys to the ground, and it just kind of, you did have benches clearing. It was kind of a mess, and you could just hear the refs saying how both teams go back to your bench, and they just because and you could see as the offense and defense started staying out there, and then they repeat both teams back to the bench, and then they start running off to the sides, because I think they felt like they can't possibly mean I need to go back to the bench.
Yeah, nobody was listening.
Can I tell you, if you're disqualified from a game, the rules are for the NFL is that you don't get your game check. Yeah, so you're losing some big money if you're disqualified and asked to leave. So
they don't care.
No, they do care because it's a lot of money. Well, me, it's a lot of money. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for my electric bill.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got ugly, but didn't they say they're disqualified from the next game too? Didn't they say?
I did not see anything about that. Well, only one of them would qualify. I can't speak to that. Did you see something about that?
Yeah, I thought I heard them say that that's going to also eliminate them from playing the next game if they're both in the next game, which they can't be, but whoever is going to be in the next game, they're disqualified. So that would be bad. Go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, traditionally that's what I've seen too. It tends to be that it's like you're disqualified from this game and the next game. I agree with you on that. That's what I've seen usually. Although I've seen the NFL pull some. Oh, you know what they could say as well? Then I will not attend the Pro Bowl, and then I will then be ready to play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The thing is, you go home to your wife. You miss 2 game checks, honey. Sorry about the 1.5 million. We're not getting. I'm just
Like, don't they make per game?
Well, no. If you make 10 million a year, right? Okay, you divide that up into 17 games.
Yeah.
So, and then the playoff money, of course, is the playoff money, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah. For us.
Yeah, and I think though you are looking at most of the players are looking at 6 figures per game when you calculate it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yeah, that just is how that goes. Did I have any more notes to go over here about that game? Basically, yeah. I mean, I already. Yeah, no, I didn't have any more notes. Anybody have anything else to further our stuff there?
Ed was each one of these games. There was always one team, except for the KC game. They both, played similar. And the score was tight, came right down to the end. But all these games, it seems like one of the teams just almost didn't qualify to be there. Like San Fran scoring 7, in a game that they're supposed to be the best of the NFC. You know what I mean? Like, I just think the games were one-sided, all the playoff games this season.
Well, it's because their strength of schedule. It's because they played the teams. How they got there is because they played weaker teams versus, Yeah,
but I mean, San Francisco, you thought they would have scored a lot more.
Well, same thing as the Philly and Dallas thing. You know what I mean?
The Giants game. The
Giants game, yeah.
This is my take on it.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. And we're just sad it's not us.
So, who's going to be the good commercials for the Super Bowl? What do you guys think?
I always look forward to the Budweiser ones. I love those.
No.
You like Budweiser?
Well, it was Bitcoin last year, wasn't it?
That was the ad of the year. Yeah, the Coinbase, I think, was the name of the company, and that was the QR code, the bouncing QR code. That was definitely what took it. And we'll get into that around the NFL here, though. First, I'd like to say thank you to check out the AFCEast.org. That's our website. You can check out all our different platforms on there. You got NAFCo.org. They are our film company, a nonprofit based out of DuBois, Pennsylvania, and you can check them out at NAFCo.org. They tend to help out a lot of events and stuff in our region. WestPACystems.com. They are your 21st century electrical build contractor. You can check them out at WestPACystems.com, especially if you need major lighting work done on like a stadium, for instance. Go there. Mom Media Works. They are a filmmaking company based out of Warren, Pennsylvania. You can go check them out on Facebook. And you got PerryLangell.com. That's your one-stop shop for all your Perry needs. Now, around the NFL, and there's kind of a bit to talk about around the NFL. First of all, let's get into the commercial stuff, though. Let's keep going about these commercials here. I actually found that kind of interesting. So Coinbase had the bouncing QR code. Then you had last year too. I think the other big ad of the year was the Selma Hayek and Arnold Schwarzenegger Greek god-based ad for Volkswagen EVs.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I thought, and I know that in our film, you hear all the filmmaker talk that we have going on here, and we the people within NAFCo definitely seem to enjoy that ad the most too. And I think because it really hit to the your film goer audience there. I like when they include the A-listers into some of these ads, and I think sometimes. Like one big classic one, I think it was 2010, was the Betty White Snickers ad, for instance. I think it always. I think when they land a good A-lister into some of these, I think that's usually like a lot of the moments that shine for Super Bowl ads to me. That, and if it's incredibly weird, that's that Coinbase style where it's like bouncing QR code for a full minute. So that's my thoughts. Is it's always the ones that are incredibly weird, and then the ones where they use A-listers that you just didn't expect to see in any way.
Hey,
Well-
Perry, I just want to comment that since I was at the Super Bowl, I didn't see any commercials last year.
Oh, you have a point. I didn't even think about that, Liz.
Yeah, so they showed a couple, but like, who was paying attention? I was at the freaking Super Bowl, and there's not much more time that I could say. Last year I was at the Super Bowl, so I'm going to just milk that for all it's worth.
Okay.
I don't blame you.
Well, Liz, I've been to 2 World Series. That's all I can say. I mean that's it. However,
2 World Series.
yeah,
Which years?
I don't know, 90s something, whatever. Both Miami.
It was Miami. So it would have been like the 2003 win from Miami, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. I spent most of the time
versus the Yankees.
I spent most of the time in the hallway just drinking with the guys. I mean, I saw 3 innings.
Oh,
Hey,
really?
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
I was at Game 6 in 1986 when we beat the Boston Red Sox at Shea Stadium.
You beat the Boston.
Oh yeah,
Red
the
Sox?
Buckner. Did you watch the Buckner bit?
I was at that game 6
Oh,
in
wow.
86. I was at the 2000 Met Yankee World
There you go.
Series.
There you go. All right.
I was at the Met
All
World
right.
Series against the Royals. So, boo
Man.
Casey. But
Well, I've emailed and called Selma Hayek a lot of times, and she doesn't return my calls. So
I think that's actually just called being a stalker, Paul. So maybe cool it on email and celebrity women.
yeah.
Is this a daily letter, or is it monthly? How often are you messaging her?
Enough.
Enough. Okay, so it means several times a day.
nice. Yeah, being a Patriots fan, are you also a Boston fan, Perry?
It depends on the sport. Like, as far as what I'll say is, yes, Red Sox. I mean, sometimes I've worn Red Sox gear here on the show. I'm a huge Red Sox fan. I don't really spend a lot of time following ice hockey, for instance. I know, Paul, you got your Sabres hat on right there, but, I'm probably the least. Hockey's probably the least of a sport I follow, and I find it to be because it's hard for me to relate to. I can't skate worth a damn, so it's like. But I can kind of run around a field or run around a basketball court, and so I can relate to the feeling of what, a little bit better than ice hockey. Basketball, I was bad at basketball. My father actually coached like a literally like kind of a rec league thing for my team one year, and it was like. And actually, I was like trying to not play that year, and then he coached it, and it was I don't know where I'm going with that, but my point is I was bad at basketball, and I never really got past the rec leagues there, but I did actually play at the high school levels for baseball and football, and in ice hockey I've never played one stroke of ice hockey in my life. I don't know what you call that, one play of ice hockey. What is it? What is a down of ice hockey?
It's a shift
or a pitch, a shift. I have not played one shift of ice hockey. There you go.
Okay, no. I played ice hockey, and my hands are so screwed up because you wear gloves, but you whack the other guy's hands like you never saw with sticks. And my hands suck. I mean, just by playing ice hockey. But anyway, you live on.
All right.
Yeah, it seems like ice hockey is a sport though where people get it's like injury. It's like you're a lot of people. At least you seem to have like your front teeth and stuff there, Paul. I mean, I've heard of a lot of people lose teeth in ice hockey, more so than baseball. And then football, it's like you got your face guard and you got your mouth guard and stuff. Which, man, sometimes, and Paul and I have discussed this when we were actually at his house. Is sometimes the placement of mouth guards I can find extremely disgusting on players, like when they stuff it in their shoes, in their shoelaces, and they're running around, and they got and then they shove that back in their mouth. Just I don't know. And then you see sometimes they put it like over their ear, and it's like, dude, that's gross too. It's just a sweaty ear area that you're too.
Ew.
Yeah. Here's a story. I'm waiting on my shift. I can't find my helmet, which is the big face guard. First time ever. I jump over the boards, ready to jump on the ice. I get smacked right in the mouth, right with the puck. Just first time ever. It's just it's really, hockey is so brutal. It's just like, yeah. Anyway, well, enough of that. Let's go around the NFL.
Well, yeah, around the NFL. Well, and I'll say, about the mouth guard thing. I always had it hanging off I had the type that hung off my face guard in football, and it just would dangle down there, and I would stuff it in because that's kind of cleanly, just hanging out in the air. It doesn't need to be touching my feet, doesn't need to be touching my ear. It's just hanging in the air, and that's why I like that style of mouth guard.
Yeah.
Just saying. So, but yeah, around the NFL, I'll say that
the minty mouth guard is always bad.
You had a mint flavored mouth guard?
Mouth guard. Yeah. Yes, I did.
Ooh, I didn't know they actually sold minty flavored mouth guards. That sounds kind of gross, especially when you mix it with Gatorade. Like having an orange Gatorade mixed with your mint friggin' thing, or fruit punch Gatorade, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it would be kind of gross. I think so. Yeah. But okay. Yeah. So around the NFL, Tua's parents came out saying that Tua is going to be playing in the Tua is going to be playing in the next year. And Tua's parents say that they've all, as a family, made this decision, conscious effort to that he's going to play. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, man, the way that parents talk, they just seemed extremely gung-ho, and to the point where it seems almost like they have blinders on, and that's what most people are saying. And I see Daniel Smith from Jets Guru commenting, Tua needs to retire. Thanks for joining in, Daniel. But yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. I think he needs to retire. I don't think it's appropriate for him to keep playing, and I think that he is... I think it's detrimental to his health long term, and I don't have a good feeling about it. That's what I'll say. I do not have a good feeling about the fact that it shows that his influences are gung-ho, and I guess that might be a factor on how he got to the NFL to begin with, was extremely supportive parents, but there's supportive, and then there's kind of just barreling through a problem. And Daniel sends his love over to you there, Miss Liz.
Speaking of my Jets, what are we thinking about some Green Bay quarterback possibly coming over? It's all the buzz in Jets land here, saying that Aaron Rodgers is going to be wearing a Jets uniform, and I don't know. I'm really not sure how I feel about it. I'm really not sure.
I think what gives it most of its credence as far as that goes is the fact that Brett Favre came from a very, very similar story, and he went to the Jets.
Right.
I don't know that really means that Aaron wants to relive exactly Brett Favre's life.
Well, it's odd, and
what is you're set up? You have a great defense. Jets have a great defense.
Yeah,
you need to draft some good receivers, and I think Brett Favre could be there. Not Brett Favre. Either.
Yeah.
Oof.
If you
just had a connection issue.
If you draft some good receivers,
we need our O-line to be healthy. We need all those guys to come back.
Yep.
We need Elijah back. We need Vera Tucker back, and let's see what happens.
No, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and some couple of good receivers. You guys are good. I mean, you'd be scary.
Yeah.
So,
I thought, one thing that I posted on our Facebook group, you can check us out. It's the AFC East by NAFCo Facebook group. Feel free to join. We're 1.1K members strong. But on that group, I was a little inflammatory in just posting a Photoshop image of Brady in a Jets uniform with a 12 and everything.
Yeah.
And man, that got people kind of fired up in that group a little bit.
Yeah.
There was like quite a pile of comments on that one. I think, that's all it was. It was just that image, and it just got everybody all up in arms, and I thought it was pretty hilarious.
You put him in Namath's jersey. That's Namath's jersey. Don't put anybody. Well, that's why they got all fired up. Broadway.
That's
Joe,
why.
Yes, that's a kick in the teeth, boy. That is not cool. Especially
12. I didn't realize that.
Yes, that's.
Is that retired? Is the 12 retired?
Yes.
Okay. One less reason for Brady to go to the Jets then.
Yeah.
The 12's already retired.
He can't have 12. Nope.
Okay. All right. Around the NFL, a lot of coach firings, a lot of offensive and defensive coaches fired. Not any big coaches fired though. I hear the Denver coach is going to Miami.
Yeah, I heard that too. No.
Denver's going to Miami. He was awful. You're talking about the head coach that got fired?
Yeah.
No.
He's.
It was that. Go ahead.
I heard the Denver coach is going to be the new offensive coordinator for Miami Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
That makes more sense to me too, because McCarthy's been playing quite well over in Miami. Not playing, but coaching quite well. So I think that I can see him bringing in a new offensive coordinator because they've but they performed quite well on offense last year. That offensive coordinator must have gotten a promotion somehow. Offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay.
I'm Googling. Frank Smith joined the Miami Dolphins. Frank Smith did it here this past year. I don't know. Yeah, okay, this is something I don't really have my research done on, so I won't keep talking on it.
They said the Raiders coach got fired too, right?
Josh McDaniels.
Didn't I hear the Raiders coach got fired?
I gotta look that up. It looks like Josh McDaniels is still the head coach for the Raiders here. I'm not seeing anything indicating.
Well, basically,
it looks like he's currently there.
A lot of, the Buffalo Bills. We fired Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier had number 1, number 2, top 5 defense for the past 4 years. So, but he got fired. I don't know why. Really, you're number 1 in defense or top 5. Why you get fired? I don't understand that. But
maybe he
you lose Von Miller. You lose Von Miller. Okay. You got that. Then you're on the downswing, but I don't know why they fired him. So,
he probably had a van and was luring little children.
Okay. Well, that happens. I'm just saying.
It does happen.
I know.
Yeah, I just had to throw a little dig in there to Buffalo. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
That was wrong of me.
You beat us this year, so shut up.
We did, as a matter of fact.
I know.
The good old days. The good old days.
The good old days, yes. Go now.
I can't.
So I'll say our friend over from Daniel Smith there over from Jets Guru chimed in saying that he was thinking about Brady possibly being back in the AFC, and that actually the Packers have already stated that they're planning to put him trade him into the AFC. He corrected there to the AFC, which makes some sense to trade him away from from playing you. That's sort of also a very Belichickian style of way of doing things too, like trading Chandler Jones to like the Arizona Cardinals, things like that. It's good when you can trade your player. So that way your ex-player isn't just walloping on you right after you trade him. That's what. Yeah, thanks for your input, Daniel. But so with that said, is there any more news around the NFL right now?
Clarence Peanuts are right.
Clarence Peanuts, okay. Actually, I like that better than the popcorn. Softer. Actually, it's a better snack for you to be having on the show because it's like not. So good job, Paul. On we're making improvements to the show every week.
Nice.
With that being said, though, the Super Bowl is coming up here in 2 weeks. Here, we got the Pro Bowl next weekend, but we'll talk about the Super Bowl here. We will be actually taking a bye week ourselves during the Pro Bowl, and so don't expect to see us next week, everybody. But we will be back the day after the Super Bowl. From my understanding, planning on going out Monday, 2/13, day before Valentine's Day, actually. So
what we're
go on.
What we're doing is basically playing flag football next week.
Next week, that is what they're playing. I'll just bring that down. But yeah, no, they're playing flag football. I intend to watch at least a quarter of it. I'll say that much. I know I actually watched the full Pro Bowl last year, and I thought, man, this is awful television here because of the way in which. Nobody's really hitting because it's exhibitionary. Nobody wants to get injured. It makes some sense. Why get injured for something that doesn't count for anything? And it's just sort of an honor to be there. Right. I think it might make for better television to play flag football because you'll have full extension dives, but instead of them going into each other, they'll be going and you can full extend dive next to people and rip the flag off and stuff. And I think it might make for better television. Like I said, because you can have like the full speed play that kind of at the end they kind of go sideways, but then it becomes about ripping off the flag. And I think I just think it has potential to make for better television, but we'll have to see. That's my thoughts on the Pro Bowl.
I would love to go to that just because my Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson will be there. And, I would love to go just to see them. And go Jets.
Perry, just like my electric bill. That's bullshit. You want people to hit people. That's it. It's football. There's no flag football. That's okay. I'm gonna hold my language back. But no.
Paul, are you gonna watch the Puppy Bowl?
Oh my goodness! I'm so glad you brought that up. The Animal Planet Puppy Bowl. Yeah, every year, and I'll say this to anybody that is unaware of it. Every year around, I want to say it's like noon-ish or something. It's like usually a little before the game, isn't it? It's a few hours before the game. It's kind of meant they're trying to hit it so people put that on, leading into the game. I never do, but I always see the ads for it. And it's just
who hosts it.
Who does?
Snoop Dogg and like Martha Stewart or something.
That's this year. That's got to be a this year hosting.
But you know what? No, he did it last year.
I will watch that.
Oh.
But what's really cool is one of the puppies is going to be on a cart. He doesn't have use of his back leg. He's going to be on a cart. So they're even getting a little of the handicap puppies in the game, which will be pretty cool. Yep. I'll be tuning into the Puppy Bowl. Yeah, it's
Benny, the special needs puppy. Yeah. I don't know what else we want to call him. I don't know what disabilities it has, but yes, it's.
And I think he might be a little beagle. He's cute. Go Benny.
He stays at Fayette.
Huh?
Oh no.
What did you say?
Probably shouldn't make it. He's referencing my job where I help out people with developmental disabilities. That was, wow. Oh, no, wrong effect. There you go. Ooh, okay. Enough ragging on Paul for that comment. Wow.
Yeah, really.
With that being said, the Super Bowl, though, the actual Super Bowl, not the Puppy Bowl, will be in 2 weeks from yesterday, Sunday, 2/12 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to be on Fox. You got Kansas City versus Philadelphia, both number 1 seeds going into this game. I'm going to tell you right now, my pick is Philadelphia. It has to do with Mahomes is messed up, and Philadelphia, they just look like such a strong, powerful team that just right now it looks like they're a team that can do no wrong. Quite frankly, it reminds me of some of those early 2000 Patriots teams that Belichick sported back in those days. They're very technically correct, and they seem well coached, and they seem talented, and they also have sort of special schemes that they do, like this quarterback sneak. I mean, I started to talk about it in the very beginning of the show, but I'll say that the quarterback sneak play that they were running in the that they would get first. They had first and goal from 3.5 out. What they did was they just went and spammed quarterback sneak at that point. They don't even need to run any other play. And you watch the instant replay of their quarterback sneak, it's that offensive line is down below the defense. And it is, and as they say, it's what they teach at the Pee Wee League level, where you just got to get lower than the other guy. I mean, they're driving at the space that's just so low and getting the leverage. I can't believe that they're able to pull off being that low with. It's also like, why is that not the demand for every team? I think it's just a case of great coaching going on right there. And I feel like this could be changing the sport and the way we approach coaching offensive lines here with what the Philadelphia's put on tape this year. It tends to take a year for some technique to kind of disperse around the NFL. But I think during this offseason, you may see this technique of this quarterback run be coached on other teams, because quite frankly, it's just so damn effective. So I think that's a huge difference maker for Philadelphia to me in this game coming, in the Super Bowl, that they have that weapon. And I think Mahomes will see how well his feet feel. I mean, yeah, sure, he is a great player and he can still win in the championship level injured. That's awesome, but I just don't think it's going to be the same kind of opponent that he faced, yesterday here in Philadelphia.
Here, what's the line?
Oh, I don't know. I think. Oh, last I saw it was negative 130 for the. So odds basically 30% in the favor of Philadelphia, with a plus 110 on Kansas City.
We're talking about a 2-point game, right?
Yeah, I didn't actually see that. That I can try to pull this up.
No.
I guess this sounds like it's that, but go on.
I need 15 seconds for a good chorus.
Sure. Okay, so I guess, man, I forgot to install my clock a little bit there. That was going to be like click, 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 click. Here, this is what we can play while it sounds like a good cause is coming here. So, man, Paul, do you feel the excitement in the air for what might happen and all the possibilities that could be? With Jets 2021 Jets Fan of the Year, Liz Mueller, taking time for a great cause to find something or using the restroom. Hopefully that not. Oh, it looks like she's back. It's been an epic time. We've been having a very epic time waiting for this great cause of hers. Yes.
Besides Rocky, the only thing good about Philadelphia is this guy.
Yeah.
Fanatic is the only thing good about Philadelphia. Go Kansas City. The Fanatic. The only good thing about Philadelphia.
The Fanatic is, you're right, though. Fanatic is very entertaining. It's got to be a lot of work to get that role, by the way, of being the Fanatic, because, they're very athletic. The Fanatic is a very athletic mascot that does all kinds of shenanigans and actually has kind of the list of all-time shenanigans. There's usually stuff the Philly Fanatic pulled off when you look at MLB, like if you take compilations of mascot shenanigans. Yeah, the Fanatic is got 6 of the top 10 moments.
He drives his quad all over the stadium. And it was a funny thing when Noah Syndergaard stole his quad, and then he ended up on Philadelphia. It was big. But yeah, He's the only thing I like about Philadelphia.
I had a cheesesteak like 2 days ago. It's pretty good.
That's good too.
Like, yeah.
But I don't think Philadelphia came up with the cheesesteak. I think it was somewhere in Newark, New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Some of my other Jersey friends like to talk a lot about cheesesteaks as well. And I know too. I had a friend. I have a coworker from Camden, New Jersey, that is big into cheesesteaks, and he was saying that we never call them Philly cheesesteaks. That's just stupid. We just call them cheesesteaks.
Exactly.
If you say I want a Philly cheesesteak, you're clearly not from Philly.
No. And they make you order them all kinds of weird and stuff.
Well,
Like
they like the cheese on it.
The secret to the cheesesteak is the buns.
Cheese whiz, I meant.
It's the buns. So
yeah, that you have to order it. If you want it with cheese, you have to order it. I want a whiz with. That's what they say.
Okay.
And it's so weird. It's like because it's like cheese whiz, but it's not. It's very strange. They're weird people.
It's called Whiz Whip.
Whiz with WITH.
Whiz with.
Oh.
Okay.
And they get mad. Pat's and Geno's both get mad if you order it incorrectly when you go up to their window.
Yeah, so that's the thing I've heard too, is that they're the only place where like the real true Philly experience is to actually get kind of like a bunch of guff while you order your cheesesteak.
Right. Pat's
and like from the seller, not from the other patrons too. It's just like
yeah, exactly. They have an
yeah, like can I get a cheesesteak with? Can I get a Philadelphia? It's a in cheesesteak.
Right. Yes.
Pear,
Anyway.
I'm trying to pull up the codes. Go on.
Pear, you're doing really better this week on your sound effects. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it a little bit.
Remember,
Liz commented. What?
We're not getting fart noises and stuff like that. We're getting really good stuff.
What?
It's like,
Why? Why?
You had to bring it up. You brought it up.
Yeah. All right. God.
I'm enjoying this soundboard. It is a wonderful device right here.
Yeah.
Stream Deck by Elgato.
Uh-huh.
No, the routing was just a bitch. So what thoughts on the game here? I want to say too that the so Rihanna is going to be the halftime show, and I also want to say that it's now not the Pepsi halftime show.
Rihanna.
Rihanna. Did I say it wrong?
He'll come beat you up if you don't get his wife's name right.
Jake who?
Jay-Z, her husband.
Yeah. Yes.
Jay-Z's married to Rihanna? I thought that was Beyonce.
No. He will send dudes to your house.
Oh, maybe it's Beyonce.
It's Beyonce. He's married to Beyonce.
Yes.
Rihanna husband.
Send dudes to your house.
Sound effects now.
Yeah.
You're right.
Liz.
I can't keep them.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's ASAP Rocky. It's that ASAP Rocky rapper guy that I don't really know much about him. ASAP Rocky is with Rihanna.
The multi-million-dollar rap singers. I can't keep straight. All I know is
I know.
Well,
tons of money.
I own several of his clotheslines, so it's okay.
Nice. Me too.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Well, all right, man.
Well, I'm trying to find the
wrap
line
it up
here.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, sure, but 1 second here. Oh, download. This is an effort to get this thing going. Now I got to download a plugin to verify I'm in Pennsylvania. Oh, my word. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay. So, food for thought. We got to get picks, though, on this game, guys. And I didn't finish what I was trying to say. It's not. I did not finish what I was saying, though, about the halftime show. It's now not the Pepsi halftime show. It's the Apple Music halftime show. So now, yes. So, but they basically outpaid it. But it's been the Pepsi halftime show for 20-something years now. So that was a big change I saw there. But apparently, it must be a contract ran out or whatever, and they got outbid by Apple, who's quite frankly a bigger company now than Pepsi.
A little bit.
I didn't know Apple had money.
Yeah. So the spread.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah.
So 1.5. So It looks to me like they're favoring. Now they're favoring. They've changed their odds here during the day today, I must say. Now they're favoring. Vegas is favoring Kansas City by 1.5 points.
Nice.
Yep. So there's a 1.5 point favored to Kansas City. So you just said, I kind of heard you underneath this. You said Kansas City is your pick, Liz. Why is that?
Correct. Why?
Yeah.
Only thing good I like about Philly. I
Oh.
don't know that they're going to win, but I have to root for them because I cannot root for what's his name? What's
the Philadelphia, you said.
Correct. That is it. I can't. I just can't. So KC, go Mahomes, whose dad used to be a New York Met, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. So that's who he played for. Because I know his father was in the MLB, and wasn't Mahomes actually drafted into the MLB, and then he opted to go in the NFL?
I think so.
I think so. I know Brady was, by the way. A lot of people don't realize that he was actually drafted as a catcher. Tom Brady was, and he opted.
What's the score, Liz?
Opted to play for Michigan.
What's the score, Liz?
What's the what? What's the score? 28-24. How's that? No, okay. I know. Seriously, I'm going to go 21-14. KC. I think we're going to hold them to 14.
Paul, what about you?
That's it. What?
I don't know. I don't know what Paul's thing is right there.
Philadelphia's gonna crush them. It's gonna be like 42 to 20. They're gonna crush them. I'm sorry. You get a one-legged quarterback in KC. So
I said he had 3 legs before, you said.
Well, if he's a dog, yes. But yeah, that's what it's going to be. They're going to be crushed. It's going to be like, I'm shutting this off at the second quarter. So
you think it's going to be that big of a blowout?
It's going to be a blowout.
I feel like much of Kansas City has been there more recently than it's been 5 years since the Eagles were in the Super Bowl. It's been 1 year since I think we only had one gap here now since the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl, and they were there 2 years in a row. So with the 5-year gap there, I do feel, though, I will give some credence to the fact that you have players that know what it's like to play in the Super Bowl on Kansas City. So I do see this being a closer, not a blowout game to me. I see Philadelphia as the better team, but I see that you're going to have your heartbeat's a little. They always say, players that have been there before, that the next time you're there, your heartbeat's kind of a little slower and you're a little more able to stay calm, cool, and collected, in the big moments if you've been there before. And my hair is just, wow, okay, anyway, fixed. But so, with that being said, I give some credence to Liz saying Kansas City, but I also, and Vegas does as well. And I think Vegas sees some stock in that too with that 1.5. But they're looking at when Vegas, Vegas tends to know a thing or two, and if they're saying 1.5, I mean that's really them saying they don't really have an idea. They think that this is actually going to be kind of a slobber knocker of a game. So I don't think it's going to go like that. I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch. I really do. I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch, and I think it's going to come down to the final few minutes.
What was that word you just said? And what?
Slobber knocker?
Slobber knocker.
That's your word of the day, toilet paper, isn't it?
Slobber knocker?
Yeah.
I actually get to develop that phrase.
Fly, buddy. Yeah.
I've developed that phrase when it was actually Mike Gaffner of Maw Media Works that said that we were playing golf and there was this putt that was like just like 130 yards or feet on this green, and it was just kind of like, man, this is and he said that this is a slobber knocker of a putt, and I was just like, man, I love this phrase now, because it did. You just felt like you're just looking at the 130 feet away, just being like, man, this is a friggin' joke that I'm even attempting this as a putt here, kind of.
Oh, boy.
It's like one of those long greens.
All right.
Well, with that being said, we got any closing statements today. Here we're at 1 hour. I want to say that I'm looking forward to this Super Bowl. It's going to be in Arizona. Glendale, Arizona is where they have the stadium. It's actually one of my favorite stadiums, State Farm Stadium. It's one of my favorite stadiums because of the way their field, this is coming as a landscaper perspective, their field itself actually removes and goes outdoors, basically out in the side area of the stadium to catch the sunlight, and then as needed it's on motors and they can just wheel it back into the stadium. So for instance, when it's a little too hot out for the grass, they wheel it back in, and if they want, but whenever they want to catch that sunlight, so that enables them to have a natural grass field in the middle of the desert this way. And I find it kind of unique the way they do that down in Arizona.
God damn.
That's my edition. That's my nerdy edition. I always like the stadium tech. I gotta tell you, it's something I follow.
I love the music, man. I love this ending. It's good.
Yeah, the jazz,
Where'd you pick this
the
up?
cool jazz.
Yeah, that's good.
This is the Stream Deck app. It's royalty free that way.
Okay.
They have like a library that actually comes with the system because they know that this is one of the potential uses, and so it's royalty free, so we can't get hit with like, Facebook won't take us down. Well, yes, Facebook won't take us down because we have a copyright infringement issue or something.
Okay.
It's classy.
All right.
It's classy. Well, you guys have a good bye week, and we'll get together, and I assume that we'll talk about our next season and the firings and stuff like that. So,
Great.
all right, I'm excited about it.
All right. Well, this has been the AFC East by NAFCo. Thank you very much for coming on, everybody, and thank you much for checking us out.